Nigeria, we hail thee.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians old and proud to serve our sovereign motherland.
Thank you. Please be seated. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to welcome you all to the international conference organized by the Faculty of Social Sciences of the University of Abuja, now Yakubu Gowon University. This year's conference, which is themed Innovative Pathways to Sustainable Nation Building in Nigeria, a multidisciplinary approach, brings together some of the finest minds and critical thinkers from across the globe and even beyond. Our convener has consistently assembled gatherings of great value and thought leadership, but this year's edition stands out in a unique form, in that it's been able to gather participants that are basically eggheads who will be contributing meaningfully to great debate and discussion. But before we proceed, allow me please to introduce some of our distinguished personalities who have taken time out through their very, very busy schedule to grace this occasion this morning. To chair this occasion is a man who is no stranger to excellence and national service. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please let's welcome the Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, who is here ably represented by the Director of Media and Advocacy, Mr. Femi Babafemi. We are also honored to have with us this morning the leading light of this great university, a visionary leader, Professor Patricia Mankolar, who is here ably represented by another distinguished scholar, the Senior Special Assistant to the Acting Vice Chancellor on Research. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Professor Abdul Adobuba. For our lead paper presenter this morning, we have in our midst, we're privileged to have an erudite scholar and a university administrator of international repute. He's actually the Vice Chancellor of the Federal University Lokoja. Please welcome Professor Olayemi Durotimi Akinwumi. As you can see, this conference is enriched not just by his theme, but by the rich professional network of his convener, a man of ideas and action, who has gathered this great thinker. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences of this great university, Professor Motiulai Olasupo. It's also my singular honor and pleasure to welcome the former Vice Chancellor of the Nasarawa State University, Professor Suleiman Mohammed. Our mother of the day is here with us today, a distinguished Nigerian and a seasoned legislator and advocate for inclusive governance. Ladies and gentlemen, a rousing welcome for Hajia Amina Musa Keita of the National Assembly. And the first female northerner to rise to the post of the Deputy Clerk of the House of the National Assembly. Please welcome Mrs. Aisha Mohammed. because as you can see, we have very rich dignitaries here. The list is a long one, and because we have spent at least 1 hour without starting this program, we would like to crave your indulgence that we will leave out some names in the meantime, and as time permits, we shall be recognizing their presence as time goes on. But for now, I would want to especially recognize the presence of all the deans, the directors, heads of department, all professors, all our great students, staff, and everyone that has taken time from their very busy schedule to grace this occasion with us this morning. Please, let's have a rousing round of applause for ourselves. And as I said, as time permits, we shall be recognizing the presence of our dignitaries here. So we are moving forward. And on this note, may I call on the local organizing chairman of this great occasion, Professor Mohamed Mustafa Namadi, to come forward to deliver his opening remarks. A round of applause for him as he comes to the podium.
The Chief Host, Professor Patricia Mankola, Acting Vice Chancellor, University of Abuja, which is ably presented by the SA Research. The host convener, Professor Mutula A. Olasufo, Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences. The chairman of the occasion, Colonel Buba Marwa, ably represented by Mr. Femi Babafemi, the Director Media and Advocacy, NDLE. The keynote speaker, Professor Abubakar Olanwaju Suleiman, the Director General, National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, NILS, Abuja. The lead paper presenter, Professor Olayemi Durutimi Akinwomi, the Vice Chancellor, Federal University, Lokoja. The former Vice Chancellor, University, Professor Suleiman Muhammad. The mother of the day, Hajia Dr. Amina Musa Keita, the first male northerner to rise to the post of Deputy Clerk, House of Reps. The paper presenters and discussants, principal officers, deans, directors, our senior professors, heads of department and units of the university, and our dear respected distinguished students. And other distinguished scholars, researchers from within and outside Nigeria, and other members of the university community, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, esteemed participants, good morning. It is with profound pleasure and deep sense of responsibility I welcome you all to the opening ceremony of this year's annual international conference themed Innovation Pathways to Sustainable Nation Building in Nigeria, a multidisciplinary approach organized by the Faculty of Social Sciences, University of Abuja. As chairman of the local organizing committee, I'm deeply honored to be part of this intellectual erosion and timely convergence of scholars, policymakers, practitioners, and development partners drawn from diverse disciplinary, institutional, and national backgrounds. Your presence at this conference is a powerful affirmation of your steadfast commitment to advancing scholarly excellence, fostering innovative research, and promoting collaborative approaches to addressing the multifaceted problems or challenges confronting our nation. Nigeria, like many emerging economies, stand at a critical crossroad confronting pressing challenges related to governance, development, equity, security, and environmental sustainability. Effectively addressing these multifaceted issues requires more than a political will. It calls for evidence-based strategies, innovative approaches, and robust interdisciplinary collaborations. This conference, therefore, transcends the bounds of a conventional academic forum. It serves as a deliberate platform for critical dialogue, intellectual exchange, and the collaborative development of sustainable solutions capable of transforming visionary aspiration into measurable progress. The deliberate multidisciplinary structure of this conference reflects our belief that no single field or sector holds monopoly on solutions. The challenges of nation building, whether in health, education, infrastructure, technology, the environment, or social cohesion, are deeply interconnected and must be addressed through a synergy of diverse intellectual and practical contributions. The local organizing committee has worked diligently to create an enabling environment for meaningful engagement, academic rigor, and constructive partnership. Over the course of this conference, we will hear from distinguished keynote speaker, lead paper presenter, expert panelists, emerging scholars who bring both depth and diversity of thought to bear on this issue before us. I wish to extend my sincere appreciation to our special guest of honor, who is inevitably absent, and I also wish to acknowledge the acting Vice Chancellor for her visionary leadership and unwavering commitment to revitalizing the academic culture of this esteemed university. Special appreciation is extended to the Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences for his insightful guidance and unwavering support. I'm likewise deeply grateful to our distinguished keynote speaker, the lead paper presenter, for graciously accepting these pivotal roles. I'm equally grateful to our distinguished keynote promoter and lead presenter for graciously accepting these roles. To all our invited guests, panelists, moderators, and participants, I extend heartfelt thanks for your presence and your readiness to contribute meaningfully to the success of this conference. To our delegates who have traveled from near and far, we are truly grateful for your presence. Your input is vital to the success of this gathering and to the broader objective of reshaping Nigeria's development trajectory. I would like to formally acknowledge the invaluable support of the acting Vice Chancellor, our esteemed sponsors, and all members of the local organizing committee. Their steadfast commitment and relentless effort have been instrumental in bringing the vision of this conference into reality. As we commence the proceeding of this conference, I encourage all participants to engage actively, think critically, collaborate meaningfully, and reflect deeply on issues before us. Let us embrace this opportunity to collectively reimagine Nigeria, not merely as it is currently stand, or not as it stands currently, but as it has the potential to become through informed dialogue, scholarly engagement, and unified commitment to sustainable nation building. Once again, I warmly welcome you all, and I wish you fruitful deliberations, a rich and impactful conference experience. Thank you, and may God bless you. And may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Please let's have another round of applause for Professor Mohammed Mustafa Namadi. Namadi for that beautiful address. Let me also quickly recognize the presence of the Senior Special Assistant to the Acting Vice Chancellor on Academic Matters. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Professor Rhoda Mundi. Please, a round of applause, please. We're making progress. It's my honor at this point in time to call to the podium the convener of this great conference. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome him as he comes to the podium, Professor Motiulai Olasupo.
Thank you very much. I want to say that I remain honored and humbled to be in your midst this beautiful morning as a convener of this second international conference of the Faculty of Social Science, University of Abuja. Great Nigerian students, it's like I'm not taking breakfast. Don't worry. I promise you lunch. Great Nigerian students. Thank you very much. I want to build on the existing protocol established by the chairman of the local organizing committee been coordinating the activities of the department and that of the faculty in a very interesting manner. We appreciate you very, very much. Professor Abdulgani Okanla, thank you very much. Closely sitting beside him is the village boy. A round of applause for village boy. The village boy. Believers just stand up for recognition so that they will know that you have a village boy. The man who tried very relentlessly to ensure that it becomes what he is today, the professor of international relations of international repute, Professor Sali Dauda. Professor Sali Dauda is a very amiable professor in the Department of Political Science and one of the most recognized professors in the Faculty of Social Science. So thank you very much for all you do. Then, beside him, we have the director of Sotamachido Institute for Peace Leadership and Development Study, Professor Mohammed Yeliwa. Thank you very much. Professor Mohammed Yeliwa is also from the Department of Economics, Faculty of Social Science, University of Abuja. Then we have our father, the man who taught us how to organize programs. The man, about 10 years ago, or let me say 15 years ago, he has always been taking me and carrying me along on how to make sure that we add intellectual vitality to the Faculty of Social Science through regular and periodic faculty seminar. Join me to welcome Professor Obi for all what he has been doing for the Faculty of Social Science. A round of applause for him once again. Professor Obi is from Department of Economics, Faculty of Social Science. Then we have the HOD of the Department of Economics. Closely sitting beside Professor Obi is Dr. Anthony Hassan. Thank you very much. So, thank you very much. Then, for some of our fathers who decided to sit down on the other side of the table, starting from Professor Abdurrazak Nala from the Department of Economics, Faculty of Social Science. A round of applause for him. Thank you so much, sir, for coming. Then, my father in the Department of Political Science and International Relations, I call him the professor of professors, the supervisor of supervisors, the leader when it's come to research methodology. I'm referring to Professor Iro Uke. A round of applause for him too. Thank you very much. Then we have Dr. Gero from Department of Islamic Studies, so that whenever we make any mistake, he's here to correct us. Thank you so much, Dr. Gero, for coming, and thank you so much for all you have been doing, not only for the Faculty of Social Science, but for the University of Abuja generally. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Recently, Dr. Gero took me to his village, Laminga, but he really suffered me that day, because the road to Laminga is just like a death trap. Maybe because you have not brought the dilapidated condition of that road to His Excellency, A.A. Sule. That is why it remains like that. I think we have to do that, and I know how to do it. Then we have my own brother, Dr. Oladele Aluko, the man who has been given unflinching support to this administration of mine as the Dean of the Faculty of Social Science, the man who has been contributing immensely to ensure that this particular international conference recorded huge success. He has been having sleepless nights for the past 1 week to ensure that everything goes smoothly today. So I have the singular honor to appreciate our own brother, my own brother, Dr. Oladele Aluko, for everything he has been doing for this faculty. Thank you very much. I will not continue unless and until I specially recognize our father in the house, the man who has been working in a very assiduous manner to ensure that we attain academic excellence, not only in the Faculty of Social Science, but also in the entire University of Abuja. People call him the amiable Vice Chancellor, but I call him the comrade Vice Chancellor. Professor Suleiman Mohammed was actually the immediate past Vice Chancellors of Nasarawa State University. A round of applause for Professor Suleiman Mohammed. Thank you very much for all you have been doing for these great universities. Then, lastly, I have so many other colleagues of ours from Faculty of Social Science. Okay, yes. Thank you very much. We have one of our fathers from the Faculty of Social Science, a man that has always been correcting every single abnormality that has been observed in the Faculty and University of Abuja. I call him a socio-critic professor, and that's Professor Tile from Department of Sociology, University of Abuja. Thank you very much. We really appreciate you. And all our colleagues from other faculties, from non-academic unit of the universities, I greet all of you, and I welcome you to this second international conference on multidisciplinary approach. This year's conference is actually entitled Innovative Pathways to Sustainable Nation Building in Nigeria, a multidisciplinary approach. The theme was timely selected to ensure that we recognize the importance of innovation in our country. It's highly unfortunate that despite the fact that Nigeria is endowed with multifarious and multitudinal resources, Nigeria is still regarded as tragedy of underdevelopment due to the fact that we have not attained sustainable development as we have been aspiring over the 6 decades. If you could recall, since independence, we've had serious of the rigorous implementation of all these reforms, development plans, and visions, there have been unmitigated disasters. among Nigerians. And Nigeria is still crying for sustainable development today. That is why we've made frantic effort from the Faculty of Social Science to look at the innovative pathway to ensure sustainable development and nation building in Nigeria by looking at it from multidisciplinary approach. And as a matter of fact, innovation plays a very critical, very crucial role in fostering economic and industrial transformation. And that is why it is being emphasized by the Sustainable Development Goal 9 that recognize the need to build a very fantastic, innovative infrastructures, industrialization, and of course, the great pathway towards achieving nation building and national aspirations. And that is why we have to come together and come up with this innovative pathway that will be inculcated in policy formulation and implementation that will transform Nigeria from a pariah nation that many of us are not happy with to a developed and transformed society that we are aspiring. So I urge all the conferees, the participants, to try as much as possible to come up with feasible recommendations, brainstorming on how to achieve these elusive goals in our society today. And I believe Nigeria as a nation has the capacity to be one of the best countries in the world, if not the best country in the world. Because with my experience in many countries I've visited throughout the world, I've never seen any country that is as endowed as Nigeria. So we have no reason to be poor. We have no reason to experience underdevelopment. And Nigerians are very fantastic. We have so many innovative, inclined individuals in Nigeria. And we want to use all these potentials to achieve our stated objective as a nation. So I want to call on all the participants to present paper that will add value. Since we have many of you from across the African continent, we have scholars from Uganda, from Ghana, from Cote d'Ivoire. All those ones that are from far away are going to present their paper virtually. We've made fantastic provision for online presentation. And we have so many lecturers from Nigerians here from different universities, from the Northeast, Northwest, South-South, Southwest. I want to welcome all of you to University of Abuja. And I hope you enjoyed your stay in Abuja since yesterday that you have been here. And I want to assure you that your security is highly guaranteed and you should not entertain any fear. So I want you to make this international conference to be intellectually stimulating so that the recommendations and the communique will be presented at the end of this international conference. Once again, thank you very much for being part of this second international conference of the Faculty of Social Science, University of Abuja. Thank you very much.
Please, let's put our hands together once again. Yes, that's a well-deserved round of applause. Please do that better, please. Yes, that was the Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences and the convener of this auspicious program. And he had time for a very generous introduction. And I suspect that he has managed to mention, welcome, and recognize the presence of virtually all his friends who are here, except me. And it gives me great pleasure to introduce and welcome myself. I am the master of ceremony of this event, and my name is Dr. Habib Yakub. A round of applause for me. Well, the next welcome address will come from the representative of acting to the Vice Chancellor on Research, Professor Abdul Aldo Buba, as he comes to the podium.
Good morning, distinguished scholars, honor dignitaries, to adopt the already established protocols. It is with profound privilege that I deliver this address on behalf of the acting Vice Chancellor, University of Abuja, now Yakubu Gowon University, Professor Patricia Mankola, who is unavoidably absent here. This gathering, illuminated by the brilliance of minds committed to transformative scholarship, that's a hallmark of progress and collective aspiration. This year's theme, Innovative Pathways to Sustainable Nation Building in Nigeria, a multidisciplinary approach, could not be more pertinent in a time of global disruption and national recalibration. The call to innovate across disciplines is both urgent and visionary. Nation building is no longer the sole domain of political institutions. It must now draw upon academia, civil society, science, culture, and reinvigorated public spirit. It must be multidisciplinary, it must be inclusive, it must be innovative. At this juncture, permit me to express heartfelt appreciation to our keynote speaker, Professor Abubakar Olarewaju Suleiman, the Distinguished Director General of the National Institute of Legislative and Democratic Studies. His extraordinary journey as a celebrated academic, a former Minister of National Planning, and an enduring partner to our university reflects a legacy of service and intellectual brilliance. We also honor Professor Olaimi Durotomi Akiomi, Vice Chancellor of Federal University Lokoja, for his commitment to enriching our discourse through the presentation of the lead paper. His presence elevates this academic convocation. To the mother of the day, Hajia Dr. Amina Musa Kaita, your exemplary leadership within the National Assembly reminds us of the essential roles that principled women play in democratic development. We are honored by your presence. It is also fitting to commend the government of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, whose administration has consistently emphasized sustainable development, inclusive government, and strategic innovation across sectors. As academics and practitioners, we find synergy between today's deliberations and government's bold reforms aimed at securing a better future for all Nigerians. Let this conference be not only an exchange of ideas, but a catalyst for action. Let it be remembered as the moment we strengthened the intellectual foundations for a resilient, innovative, and united Nigeria. As an African proverb wisely reminds us, when the roots are deep, there is no reason to fear the wind. Let our institutions be rooted in innovation, our policies in integrity, and our partnership in trust, so that no storm can sway the vision we share for our beloved nation. Thank you. God bless Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless our universities, and God bless this gathering. Thank you.
Yes, that was a representative of our chief host. A round of applause once again for this erudite professor of solid state physics, Professor Abdul Buba. We are moving forward at this point. Let me have the honor of inviting to the podium the representative of the chairman of the NDLA. Please welcome the Director, Media and Advocacy, Femi Baba Femi, to the podium, please. I hope you know that this is our chairman of this occasion. Please give us a better round of applause. Thank you so much.
As chief host and the acting vice chancellor of the University of Abuja, Professor Patricia Mango La, ably represented here by the SSA Research, Professor Abdul Buba, a keynote speaker and the Director General of the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, Professor Abubakar Olanrewaju Suleiman, our host and convener, as well as the Dean, Faculty of Social Science, Professor Mutiula Olasupo. Other deans of faculties, heads of departments here present, and other top officials of the university, the lead presenter and Vice Chancellor, Federal University, Lokoja, Professor Olayemi Durotimi Akinwumi, our mother of the day, Hajia Dr. Amina Musa Keita, great participants, ladies and gentlemen. I stand here representing the chairman of this occasion, who is also the chairman and chief executive officer of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Mara, retired CON-OFR. Indeed, he would have loved to be here, but then there were some other national assignments that he had to go attend to, and then he decided that there must not be a vacuum. We have to come down here, and that is why I'm standing in the gap for him. And so I'll present his address to this gathering. Everything I read from his address should be attributed solely to him. Distinguished guests, dear students and participants, I'm deeply honored to stand before you today and profoundly grateful to the organizers for the invitation to address this gathering as the chairman of this international conference. The theme, no doubt, resonates closely with the mission we have pursued with unwavering resolve at the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLA. As we pursue our mandate, every ground we cover is an assurance that we are securing Nigeria's future by protecting the youths and their boundless potential from the corrosive grip of illicit drugs. Nigeria is a nation of over 200 million souls. The good news is that over 160 million of these, amounting to nearly 70%, are youth. This demographic reality brings with it a multitude of possibilities. It presents Nigeria with the rare opportunity to rise into its destined greatness, to become one of the world's largest economies,
a nation that is a hub of productivity, teeming with a vibrant labor force and having a strong competitive market. The prospects are indeed immense. Yet, this promise is shadowed by peril if the essential conditions for youth development are absent. Okay, I have to take that pause to take a moment to allow our keynote speaker and the Director General of NEEDS, Professor Abubakar Olarewaju Suleiman, to settle down. Now I continue with our test. And I did say the prospects are indeed immense. Yes, this promise is shadowed by peril if the essential conditions for our youth development are absent. Chief among these is employment. If we fail to meaningfully engage this critical mass, the consequences are there, and indeed we are already contending with them. The most viable of these consequences is insecurity. As the old adage goes, an idle hand is the devil's workshop. Having millions of able-bodied youths without gainful employment doesn't bode well for any country. This has fueled the myriad of socio-economic and security challenges currently plaguing many nations. Several years ago, our country bore the unfortunate title of the poverty capital of the world, with over 90 million Nigerians living below the poverty line. Guess what? The majority of those affected were young people. If over 80% of our youth were to be gainfully employed, we would have less dependence, there would be more productivity, and our society will be firmly set on the path of progress and prosperity. There is no doubt that in the past 2 years, this has been the focus of the renewed hope agenda of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration, working hard to break the burden of poverty, uplift millions out of squalor, and care for the needs of the masses, especially our youth population, through student loans and other empowerment initiatives. Now, allow me to share with you a less discussed but deeply consequential dimension of this crisis, which pertains to drug abuse. In 2018, Nigeria recorded 10.6 million users of cannabis, making us one of the highest consumers of the substance in the world. To put this in perspective, the population of Portugal, as at that same 2018, was 10.2 million. So we actually have people who use cannabis more than the total population of the European country. A significant proportion of these users are young Nigerians, young boys and girls, many of whom begin experimenting with the psychoactive substance between ages of 16 and 19. What is worse, most of them are polydrug users, meaning they also abuse opioids and other dangerous stimulants like methamphetamine and even heroin and cocaine. The highest rate of abuse, however, occurs in their 20s and early 30s, which is precisely the period they should be at their most productive, either in school or contributing to the economy as skilled workers and entrepreneurs. A 2018 report by the Office of the National Drug Control Policy under the White House during President Obama's administration, titled How Illicit Drug Use Affects Business and the Economy, offers sobering insights into how drug abuse erodes national development. The data reveals that almost 30% of drug abusers are outside the labor force, with unemployed individuals twice as likely to be users. These individuals tend to have higher rates of absenteeism, are often unable to hold down steady jobs, and frequently move between employers. Consequently, their productivity is significantly diminished, with a direct negative impact on national output and GDP. In the education sector, the effects are equally corrosive. Studies show that students who do not use marijuana are more than twice as likely to earn top grades than their counterparts who do. Conversely, university students who misuse prescription stimulants often post low academic results and are more likely to engage in heavy drinking and abuse of other substances. These students are also more likely to meet the diagnostic criteria for dependence on alcohol or cannabis. Generally, drug users are more prone to skipping classes and devote less time to their studies. The end result is that bright minds are derailed, aspirations cut short, and futures stolen. In the end, society bears the loss. There can be no true empowerment where young people are trapped in the vicious circle of drug abuse. Ask parents who have had to go through the harrowing experience of seeing a child with a promising future suddenly become a difficult child because of cannabis use. Abuse of illicit drugs leads to school dropouts, loss of direction, and the creation of a redundant, unemployable segment of the population. When this happens on a large scale, sustainable development becomes elusive, for it is the youth with their energy, innovation, and enterprise who are the engine room of national progress. In 2018, we were taken aback by the first scientifically gathered data revealing that the country's drug use prevalence stood at 14.4%, which is almost 3 times the global average of 5.6%. The UNODC-backed survey served as a wake-up call for Nigeria to address the growing abuse of illicit drugs. It prompted a series of reforms, including the drafting of the more pragmatic National Drug Control Master Plan and a renewed effort to reform and strengthen the NDLA to combat the illicit drug menace. At the NDLA, we recognized earlier on that enforcement alone cannot resolve this multifaceted crisis. While arrests and seizures are necessary, they merely address the symptoms rather than the root causes. Consequently, we calibrated our approach to place equal emphasis on prevention, treatment, and rehabilitation alongside enforcement. It is true that we can arrest drug barons and seize tons of illicit substances, and indeed we have. And this we have been doing ferociously with 67,345 arrests, including more than 100 drug barons, 11.2 million kilograms of seized drugs, and 12,414 offenders convicted in the past 54 months. However, without substantial investment in prevention and treatment, these gains will yield little lasting impact. This realization has shaped the strategic decisions we have made over the past 4.5 years. Our principal objective remains the disruption of drug trafficking networks, yet our broader vision is to prevent non-users from falling into the trap of drug abuse and to rescue those already ensnared through effective treatment and rehabilitation. One of our early interventions was the introduction of the drug integrity test, which is a preventive tool and deterrent mechanism particularly aimed at young people. We advocated for its adoption in tertiary institutions, and we are glad that University of Abuja is one of the institutions of higher learning that has adopted this policy. And I'm pleased to report that several public and private universities, like I said, including your institution, the University of Abuja, have embraced the policy. To reinforce this initiative, we launched last year a Save Our Families campaign to promote drug testing kits for use in homes, schools, and workplaces as part of a broader advocacy initiative to safeguard our young people from the scourge of illicit drug. We are also mindful that knowledge is a powerful shield against the use and misuse of both illicit and illicit drugs. An informed population is far less likely to succumb to the lure of harmful substances. It is therefore vital that young people understand the dangers of using illicit drugs or pharmaceutical drugs without a doctor's prescription. Over the past years, we have made concerted efforts to engage with young people more proactively than at any other time in NDLA's history. We launched War Against Drug Abuse WADA initiative, a community-led campaign focused on raising awareness and promoting behavioral change. Over 40% of our advocacy efforts under WADA have been directed towards schools from primary through tertiary level. In just 4 years, we have reached no fewer than 11,584 schools, worship centers, workplaces, and communities, among others. We've established WADA clubs on campuses across the country and extended our outreach to out-of-school youths, recognizing their heightened vulnerability. We took the message to the social media, where our young people spend most of their time. Our dedicated weekly airspace engagement has been running every Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. since 2022, and by tomorrow we'll be hosting the 150th edition of that conversation on airspace. It has built a loyal following and serves as a platform where anyone can access comprehensive information on drug misuse, its consequences, treatment options, and other essential guidance. We regularly feature experts in drug abuse, mental health, people with lived experience, and law enforcement who provide valuable insights to the young people who we engage with each week. We also recognize the importance of treatment and have worked diligently to expand access to it. In the past, the very idea of seeking treatment was almost a taboo, even when clearly necessary for someone dependent on illicit drugs, largely due to the social stigma associated with the drug use. However, through sustained WADA campaigns, we have to a large extent, significant extent, succeeded in normalizing the concept of treatment as an essential step in helping individuals overcome drug dependency. Yes, we have counseled and rehabilitated 27,187 drug users in our 30 rehab centers spread across the country. This is in addition to thousands of others who have benefited from psychosocial support services provided on our 24/7 toll-free helpline 0800 10 20 30 40. Over the past 2 years, we have been diligently advancing a strategic initiative known as Alternative Development. Its objective is to offer individuals involved in cannabis cultivation viable alternatives through the introduction of cash crops. With appropriate government support, these individuals will be encouraged to grow economically valuable, legitimate crops, thereby curbing domestic cannabis cultivation, while simultaneously empowering farmers to pursue lawful livelihoods that contribute meaningfully to national development. As Nelson Mandela so aptly stated, the youth of today are the leaders of tomorrow. It is our collective duty to ensure they are not only equipped with top-tier training and nurture ambitious plans for their future, but if we fail to protect them from the scourge of illicit drugs, all these efforts could be in vain. This underscores the urgent need for us to remain committed until the noble aspiration of a drug-free society becomes our lived reality. Thank you very much for your attention, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
He quoted that an idle mind is a devil's workshop. One of our own, a consummate scholar, intellect and temperament. Of course, he's going to be our keynote speaker this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Director General of the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, Professor Abubakar Olariwaju Suleiman. Our next speaker is the mother of the day, to invite to the podium Hajia Dr. Amina Musa Keita, the National Assembly, to come here for her address. A round of applause as she gracefully walks to this podium.
Good morning to you all. Distinguished dignitaries present here today. And the lead paper presenter, Professor Olayemi Durutimi Akinwumi, the Vice Chancellor, Federal University of Lokoja, the Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences, Professor Mutuila Olasupu, also my professor. You know, all my professors are here, so I have to be very careful while mentioning their names. They are all my mentors, anyway. The great Department of Political Science and International Relations, my own academic home where I practice. You know how we do it in this university? I can't hear you. Great Nigerian student, great Abuja University student. To all students, you know how parents are struggling to see you through your education. To all of you students, I urge you to remain focused and committed to your studies. You know, education is your strongest tool for personal growth and national development. The world is evolving rapidly, as you all know. The world has already become a global village. And only through dedication you can stand out as the leaders of tomorrow. I strongly advise you to shun all forms of informal attitude and avoid cultism. Most especially, avoid drugs, which is killing our youth of today in this country. And reject any association or behavior that can destroy your future and tarnish the image of this prestigious. You are ambassadors of the University of Abuja wherever you go. Let your conduct reflect the values and virtues of this great institution. Be proud of your identity as a Abuja University student and uphold its name with dignity. Together, let us continue to build a better future for ourselves and for our beloved country, to impact something, I think, to few students, studies, maybe to help your parent in a little way. I will call 5 people representing each group. When I call your name, because I will do it quickly because of the time. I will call your names. Immediately I call you, you come out here. Oh. Yes. Do not buy drugs. Do not use it for some. Akuma Isa, Abdul Hamid, Miracle Oji, Ayomide, Ayotola, Bernard Eko, Madu Mary Benedict, Abba Banjin, Musa Emmanuel. I'm seeing only 4. Okay, Department of Library and Information. Ambassador Murtala Mohammed from Gamji Student Union. From Economics Department, Daniel Hilili. Wait. Let them get set. Be giving them. Dr. Dele, you can be giving them. For 10 of you. As soon as you collect, please move. Let the other set come forward. Even though it's not, this program is not for students, but I'm seizing this medium to do a little empowerment so that I can help your parents. Please be fast, be fast. Whoever is there, Dr. Dele, give it to them. Dr. Dele, give the representative, Dele, give the representative, let them, only 5 people, let them go outside and do it. Go outside and do it. Okay, at this juncture, I would like to thank all the participants in this conference. I wish you self-deliberation. Thank you, students. Thank you, my lecturers. May God bless our great nation, Nigeria.
Amen, amen. Thank you very much, sister. Thank you very much. You know what? No, not wait outside. Go and sit down. After the program, the rest will be given. And those of you that have collected, just stay behind. There are so many other things that are coming on your way. Everybody, go and sit down. Don't distribute that. Thank you very much. We want to use this opportunity to express our gratitude to our mother, Ajia Document. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. May God Almighty continue to enrich your pocket. A round of applause for her once more.
Well, keep clapping. That was a very... Prof, the ball is in your court. A round of applause, please. Please, let's rise and applaud our erudite prof before he delivers the address. And this is important because this is part of an exercise because some of you have been sitting down idly. Keep clapping to keep yourself busy. Wow, that's great. Thank you so much for this rousing applause. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, let's be seated. Thank you. The Vice Chancellor, University of Abuja, ably represented by Professor Abdul Buba. The Vice Chancellor of Federal University of Lokoja, our own brother who is the lead presenter today, Professor Durotimi Akiwumi, the immediate past Vice Chancellor, Nasarawa State University, the other Professor Suleiman from Sociology Department, the representative of the chairman of LDLA, the Dean of the Faculty of Social Science, our own Professor Motiulai Olasupo, the Dean of the Postgraduate Study, Professor Senior Peter, our other professor here seated, the mother of the day, complex challenges that our country faces today require integrated and multifaceted approaches that need to be properly extrailed. As one person who has worked as an academic, public servant, both in the executive and legislative, and a practitioner, I appreciate the issues of a lack of social cohesion, social inequality, a fragile democratic culture, infrastructural deficits, institutional inefficiency, and other matters that derail our nation's progress. Yet, within these challenges lie enormous opportunities that require collaborative action, strategic innovation, and courageous leadership approaches that can transform our country and deliver lasting impact for all of us. And so in doing this, I have structured this paper into 8 subsections, beginning with introductions and ending with the conclusion, which is a call for action. 1. National identity and social cohesion. Nigeria, like many other African countries, found itself at a critical inflection point on a nexus between citizenship and the sense of national identity. Decade after independence, our country still grapples with a fragile national identity. Diverse ethnic, religious, and social have undermined our collective sense of nationhood. A recent national survey data obtained by the African Polling Institute, API, reveals a widespread lack of belonging and trust among Nigerian citizens. Core issues include discriminatory access to services to promote equity, social justice, and upward mobility, and reconciliation. 2. Capital development. As this conference rightly underscores,